Hi everyone, this is Joyce Twing. The purpose of this video is to give you a sneak peek at the new Weave Assessment website. As you may know, Allison Cornwall and I have been working together as assessment coordinators since last semester. And one of the projects we've been working on is this new Weave Assessment website. Once you get the email invitation and go to the website, create a username, create a password, log in, you'll get to this dashboard. Your dashboard will look a little bit different than mine looks, but basically this is what the dashboard looks like. Up here, you'll see projects. Projects is the word that Weave uses for degree plans. So if we click here, you'll see that I have a long list. Yours may not be this long, but when you select projects, you should see a list of all of the degrees in your department or in your area. Now that might be one or it might be several. Look at the list, and if you think there should be other degrees on your list that are not on there, email me or email Allison or email both of us, and we'll get those added to your list. Well, this is just a demonstration here, so if we take a look at this, the way Weave works is across the top level you'll see your program learning outcomes. These are the program learning outcomes that all of us created in the master spreadsheet prior to the NECHI visit in 2020. These are already populated, so whatever your department created for program learning outcomes, they're already populated in this top level gold, yellow tiles. These are the program learning outcomes that are on the website in the catalog for your program. Now Weave calls these goals, and one of the things that you'll see as we go through this is not all institutions use the same terminology for everything. This top level we call program learning outcomes. Some institutions call them goals. The next thing we'll see is that typically, departments look at these top-level goals and break them down into smaller goals. Those are the green tiles. The green tiles are the smaller pieces of these program learning outcomes at the top. So you'll see that this one has 3, this one has 2, oh, this one has 3 as well. So all of us typically look at these program outcomes at the top and break them into different pieces. Then the purple tiles are the classes where these separate pieces are assessed. So if we look here, we'll see here's the top level program learning goal. Here is one of the pieces. Here are classes where that piece is assessed. Coming down here, there's another piece of the program learning goal, and these are student outcomes, course outcomes, and then the courses where they are assessed. And we would continue going down through all of the program learning outcomes. So that's what this looks like, and it's pretty much how we think with assessment. We have a program learning goal that's got several pieces to it. Then we break the pieces down, and then we assess the individual pieces, sometimes in one class, sometimes in 2 or 3 or 4 classes, particularly at the bachelor level. And that's kind of how academic assessment works. Now I'm going to show you, well, before I show you, I'm going to tell you that inside these courses, there's a lot of depth. So these are called measures. If we got into this purple tile, we'll see that it has the option to do a lot of things. Again, we've called this measures. We would think of it as an assessment tool, as an assignment. Once we get in here, it might be a quiz, it might be a test, it might be an oral presentation, it might be a research paper, whatever you're using to assess this piece of the program learning goal. And also in here, you have the ability to set a target, to say if the target was met. You have the ability to put an action plan, and you can attach files of evidence that this particular measure was met. So there's a lot of depth and a lot of room to do things inside these purple tiles. You can set action plans, all sorts of things that we need to do when we're doing academic assessment. So that's what the assessment piece looks like. Now if we come up here and we look at a different view, we look at the visual view, all this does, and we haven't put much in here, but all this does is list the classes where assessments take place. And coming over here, it just indicates which piece of a program learning goal, program learning outcome is assessed. You may decide that you don't need this piece at all. All Vermont Tech programs have been loaded into, all Vermont Tech courses have been loaded into Weave, and they can be mapped to course learning outcomes. However, you don't have to do that. These are the courses. This is where they're assessed. You may decide that this is not something that you want to do. It's easy to do, but you may not find it useful, but the ability is there. So if we go back over here to the dashboard, even though we were clear in the message that we sent that we don't expect you to do anything other than sign in, create a username, create a password, get into the website. Take a look at your projects and make sure you have all of the ones that you should have. Other than that, you don't have to do anything. We will be having an assessment day toward the end of the semester when departments would typically get together and do their assessment for the spring semester. At that time, Allison and I will give you more information about how to use the website. I think it's safe to say that neither Allison nor I feel as if we're experts on this. We'll work hard to be better than we are right now by the end of the semester. But you don't have to do anything. However, I know that there are some of you, when you see this video, you're going to think, oh my goodness, what are they doing to us now? And you are going to want to dive in here and try to figure some things out. I would be one of those people, so I get it. If you decide that you just can't stand it without getting in here and poking around a little bit, if you click this question mark up here, you'll see how do I. If you click this, you'll see how do I create an assessment plan. And here's a guided tour. If you click this, you'll see that there are 4 videos that will show you how to do that map that I showed you with the gold tiles on top and the green tiles and the purple tiles. One of the challenges in working with this and watching these videos is that the terminology is not always the same as you'll see in our template. As I said, program learning outcomes are sometimes called goals. Measures are sometimes called assessment tools. So you kind of have to keep that in mind. But this will walk you through all the way to running a report. One of the magic parts of Weave is that once you have got all your information loaded, you can ask Weave to create reports for you, and it does that seamlessly and well, including pulling in all of your assessment evidence. So it is a nice website. It does work well. Again, Allison and I are still trying to learn as much as we can about it. And, I don't know that we'll ever learn everything, but you don't have to try to do any of this. If you come up here and you get started and think, oh my goodness, I'm down a rabbit hole, I'm never going to find my way out, then just stop. You can't do anything that you can't hurt this. Anything that you do, we can fix. So don't worry about messing anything up. You can't do that. We can fix it. But if you want to get in here and poke around a little bit, feel free. But also know that you don't have to do anything. We're all busy, and if you don't want this anywhere in your to-do list right now, that's fine. So hopefully you'll find this useful and interesting.